Woo! And then he hit the spinning back fist walk-off KO. What up, Fightful fam? Shakiel Mahjouri here with your Fightful Fix UFC Vegas 6 post-fight edition. We're going to take a look at the biggest action from the Derrick Lewis vs. Aleksei Olenik card, Chris Weidman's return into the win column, the best highlights from the prelims, plus what is next for Michael Chandler, and we've got some Conor McGregor news. Okay, so first, Derrick Lewis gets another win, improving his record to 3-0 in the last 3 runs. He survived some trouble in the first round from Aleksei Olenik on the ground, comes out like a man possessed in the second, rushes at Aleksei Olenik, flying knee to the chest, winging right hand, drops Olenik, and then some vicious ground and pound to shut out the show. Right after that fight, Curtis Blaydes called him out, said, hey, let's run it, number 3, number 4, let's make it happen. You know how Derrick Lewis is, not super interested. He doesn't want to get in there with a wrestler. He wants to swang and bang, as he likes to say. So, what could we see next, realistically, for Derrick Lewis? I've got a few options. Curtis Blaydes makes a lot of sense. Both guys are really winning right now, but listen, Curtis Blaydes is going to have a tough time cracking into the world title picture, especially if Francis Ngannou beats the winner of Miocic versus Cormier. Plus, I think, as a fan favorite fight, there are way better options for Derrick Lewis. First, you could have him fight the winner of JDS versus Rosenstruik at UFC 252 next week. If JDS wins, that's a rematch. If Rosenstruik wins, that's a fresh matchup between two really dangerous strikers. There's one more option that's going unnoticed, and I think it is a killer fight, and that is Aleksei Overeem. Now, do I have my reservations about putting an aging Overeem in there with someone with the knockout power of Derrick Lewis? Yes, but Overeem is a legend. He keeps on finding ways to win. He's won 3 of his last 4, most recently finishing Walt Harris, and the guy is ranked number 7, so you got to do something with him. I know he said that Lewis allegedly turned down a fight, so I say let's make it happen. Derrick Lewis, Aleksei Overeem, you're certain to get a knockout, but I also think the JDS Rosenstruik winner would make for an intriguing matchup. Okay, up next, Chris Weidman finally got back into the win column after defeating Omari Akhmedov via unanimous decision, 29-28 across all 3 scorecards. Now, it's great to see Weidman back in the win column. He says he wants to make another run for the middleweight title, but if I gotta be serious, this performance didn't really show me that he has what it takes to compete with the Israel Adesanyas, the Paulo Costas, and the Darren Tills of the world. I'm not doubting the man. Listen, I'm sitting here comfy in my office, in my studio. It's easy for me to say these things. But what I would like to say is I believe in a slow progression up and down the rankings. And I think it's too soon to throw Weidman back in there with the absolute top of the division. There are some fights that I think will be rather intriguing for the man. First, Edmund Shabazian. Currently ranked number 10, did not get it done against Derek Brunson, showed some limitations, but still a very intriguing prospect. I think a fight versus Chris Weidman is a real chance for both men to show whether or not they still have what it takes to make a run for the top spot. Looking a little farther down the card, I think you could also go with Derek Brunson. He's ranked number 7. If you want to give Weidman someone on the up and up, Derek Brunson has shown that he is not a gatekeeper, that although he may have struggled with the very top of the division, he is for sure legit and he for sure can put a whooping on anyone. If you want to look a little further down, Akhmedov was number 11. Let's say Weidman takes that spot. You could even put him up against Ian Heinisch, who's ranked number 13 and coming off a win, or Marvin Vettori, who's ranked 14 and has looked super impressive since that split decision loss to Adesanya. Moving on to who I think is the real star of UFC Vegas 6, and man, that is Beneil Dariush, repping it strong for the Iranians. He beat Scott Holtzman, who many would have assumed would be the more superior striker. You came into it thinking Dariush is going to lean on his grappling, Holtzman is going to lean on his striking skills and power, but man, Dariush between this fight and the Drakkar close fight has shown that he's got wicked power and a lot of creativity. He caught Holtzman in a Muay Thai clinch and landed a knee that staggered the dude, and from there on, Dariush went insane. He snapped, he pressed forward. He did a good job, unlike in the Drakkar close fight, of staying out of range, sliding past strikes, and then reinitiating. Woo! And then he hit the spinning back fist walk-off KO that absolutely obliterated Holtzman. I'm talking Thanos snap, half the globe gone kind of power. He hit him with the forearm on a spinning back fist and yipped out of there like nobody's business. Referee waves it off, and Dariush earned what is without a doubt the most impressive finish on the card. Now, unfortunately for Dariush, he did miss weight leading into the fight, which means he was ineligible for one of the 4 Performance of the Night awards. Dariush, ever the gentleman, in his post-fight interview with Paul Felder, actually told Felder that he would like for Dana White to award the $50,000 to Holtzman because Dariush missed weight. His wish was ultimately not granted, but we're going to get to the Performance of the Night winners shortly. So, what is next for Beneil Dariush? He's currently ranked in the top 15, but I don't think you should wait any longer to give him a top 10 guy. He's got 5 straight wins, 4 straight finishes, and up until this fight, 3 consecutive Performance of the Night bonuses. He finished Holtzman, Drakkar Klose, Frank Camacho, and Drew Dober, who, the latter of those guys, is also on a nice streak of his own. So for what's next, I think a fight against Kevin Lee would be bomb. It gives Dariush a good chance to show if he's really put all of his tools together. Unfortunately, Kevin Lee, who's ranked 10, has another ACL tear, so he's going to be out for quite a while. That can't happen. Charles Oliveira is also ranked high, and selfishly, I think that would be a fantastic fight. Both men are known for their incredible grappling prowess, but in recent fights have really leaned on creative striking to really put the whole package together. Oliveira is on a 7-fight win streak, and I think he deserves to move up, not down the ladder, so that ain't happening. That leaves Diego Ferreira, who's ranked 8 and just came off a win against Anthony Pettis, but again, I would like to see Diego move up the ladder, but if you're going to put that fight together, he's ranked number 8. Both guys are kind of ready for upper echelon talent, but may not have the name value of the guys at the very top of the division, so I think that makes a whole lot of sense from a matchmaking standpoint. And if you want to go with someone with a little more name value, Ally Quinta is currently ranked number 9, but coming off 2 straight losses against Cerrone and Dan Hooker. Call me Sean Shelby. If I'm matchmaking, I'm putting Dariush up against Diego Ferreira or Ally Quinta for a top 10 spot. Okay, next let's do a quick rundown through the UFC Vegas 6 prelims and take a look at a Performance of the Night winners. Andrew Sanchez, Darren Stewart, Gavin Tucker, and Kevin Holland all earned finishes to get $50K. No Fight of the Night award bonuses handed out. Andrew Sanchez and his ferocious mullet starched Wellington Turman in the first round via KO. Fellow Canadian Gavin Tucker survived early adversity to beat up Justin James on the feet and finish him on the ground with a rear naked choke. Hot prospect Youssef Zalal nearly wrapped things up early in round 1 with a ridiculous spinning back kick, but the ultra-gritty Peter Barrett was able to weather the storm and go to a decision, which Zalal won handily. Darren Stewart, who came into the UFC fight against Maki Pitolo with 8 knockout wins and 0 submissions, notched his first ever career tap-out with a vicious high-elbow guillotine to secure an early win. And finally, Nasrat Haqparast showed off some badass boxing against an ultra-tough, if not overmatched Alexander Munoz, who serves as head wrestling coach for Team Alpha Male. Okay, in some quickie news outside of UFC Vegas 6, shout out to Conor McGregor, who got engaged to his girlfriend Dee Devlin. Devlin turns 33 years old on Sunday. Don't really have much to say, but, you know, congrats. And finally, let's turn the clock back to Friday's Bellator 243, where Michael Chandler emerged victorious and a free agent. He knocked out Benson Henderson in 1 round, sweeping their series 2-0, and put himself in a prime position to earn either big money with Bellator or make the jump to UFC. Chandler is now 21-5 as a professional and has won 5 of his last 6 fights. Chances are he's going to stick around with Scott Coker and Bellator, finish out his career, earn some great money, and be a franchise player, but that's no fun. So let's play a little bit of matchmaker and find out who he could fight should he make the jump from Bellator to UFC's shark-infested lightweight division. Now, much like when Eddie Alvarez came over or Ben Askren, you want to cash in on the hardcore fan name value of Michael Chandler. Here you have a chance to test a guy who is killing it outside of the UFC against the division's best. If you throw him in there with an unknown, it really doesn't serve to benefit anyone. If Michael Chandler wins, well, what is that really saying? And if the other guy wins, there's not a whole lot of name value for the more casual audience. You got to put Chandler in there with a top 5-ish guy. That way, if Chandler wins, he is an immediate star, and should Chandler lose, his opponent looks good in victory. So if you look at that top 5 to top 11-ish spot, there are a couple names that could make sense. Diego Ferreira, Islam Makhachev. But like I said, you want to put Chandler in there with someone who has the name value to warrant the big money bringing him over. So no Ferreira, no Makhachev. There are only 3 choices as far as I can see. You could do Charles Oliveira, who's on a really, really strong run and deserves a top 5 opponent, but Chandler would be unranked. Oliveira doesn't have the best name value. It ain't that. There are 2 other options. You could do Dan Hooker. Now that would be an insane, vicious, high-octane fight that could serve to propel both men into title contention. Not the next shot, but 1 to 2 fights away. The other, and I think this is probably the way to go, Paul Felder. Paul Felder's got huge name value. He's a fan favorite fighter, and all his work as an analyst is really adding to his stardom. Chandler versus Felder would be competitive, it would be gritty, it would be tough, and it would be an awesome fight to see just where Chandler is in the division, plus give Felder one last chance to make a lightweight title run. And that is all for today's Fightful Fix. Hey, let me know in the comments section. Play a little matchmaking with me. Who do you think should be next for Derrick Lewis, next for Chris Weidman, next for Beneil Dariush, and who should Chandler debut against should he make the jump to the UFC? If you enjoyed this video, the best way you can help the channel grow is by hitting subscribe and tapping that notification bell. Leave us a like while you're at it. I hope you guys enjoyed this Fightful Fix. I'm Shakiel Mahjouri. I'll catch you next time.